Hey everybody, it's Julie. Happy World Card Making Day. I am going to be playing with the Ware Grand Tour set that's just releasing. And I've got this piece of Canson XL watercolor paper. Now, I like to take my watercolor paper pads and cut them down to quarter sheets. And then depending on how I want to mass produce something, if I want to make a lot of them, I will cut those quarter sheets in half yet again. And the reason for that is I can just rotate this paper and stamp the bear a second time. So I can fit 4 bears to a quarter sheet of cardstock, but I can do it faster if I have these pieces cut down, so I can rotate that really quick and then pop the next one in. So I actually did a whole bunch of these. I'm just showing you one. So I prepped the surface of the paper with an anti-static powder. I like to do that when I'm going to heat emboss something. And then I poured some clear detail or fine grind embossing powder over the top. And I usually reach for Wow's detail clear embossing powder. And I have the big jar because I go through a lot of it. And then I'm using the Wow dual temp heat gun. I really love this heat gun. My Milwaukee finally gave up the ghost and I decided to try out the Wow gun, and I've really been happy with it. And I love the fact that it has dual temperatures. It's actually even a lighter weight gun than my old Milwaukee. So yeah. So here I'm just heating everything up again, once again. And like I said, I did a whole bunch of these so they'd be ready to go. And I'm just tilting it in the light to make sure that everything is nice and shiny and raised and there's no gritty looking parts of my embossing powder. So everything got heated properly. So now to outline the bear, I'm actually using a clean color real brush marker in medium beige. And this is going to give the bear a really nice kind of warm tone, even though I'm not going to fill the bear in. Sometimes if I want more of a polar bear effect, I might use a pale blue to outline. Here I'm actually outlining twice to have it show up better on camera. But here you can see how I get that really nice warm tone effect to the bear. And I didn't color bear in. Bear is basically white, but you know, you're just giving them a little bit of color cast. Now to watercolor the accessories, I like to take those markers and just load some color at one end. Usually the left side is where I intensify the color, and especially with medium and dark colors, I go a little bit more sparingly and run the tip of the brush along the edges of those embossing lines. So it's going to act like a reservoir and hold that color there. And then I can take my Pentel Aquash and just blend the color out really quickly. And I'll leave some highlights, white space, and then I'll intensify the color if I need to. I can come back in and add a little bit more where I wanted that shading. But basically, I kind of start off on the side I really want to have my shading and intense color first, and then I'll pull it out towards the right. I don't know why I do it that way. I just do. But watch out for those medium to darker colors because they are very saturated in it. A little goes a long way. And just remember, you can always add more. Also, a lot of times I'll decide to color. I want all these things red, so I'll just do all the red at one time. Then I want all these things blue, and I'll come in and do all the blue things. So that way I don't have to clean my brush in between the colors so often. So now I've got all of these images watercolored. I'm going to use the coordinating dies and go ahead and get them all cut out. And you can use your Gemini Junior for that. And I did want to show you, what it's like to have all of these ready to go. I've got them in a little dish here. And the bear, this version of bear actually has arms that will hold things just like the original bear, only this one's seated. So he's sitting there on his trip, holding his passport. I can tuck that right in to his arms. All of these other accessories, you can try to slip those in between the arms there and have really a lot of fun making different scenes. So I'm going to grab the planet surface die now because I'm building this whole scene, right? And I'm going to die cut using this paper. This is a pattern paper by Lawn Fawn. It's got these rainbows of color, and they're kind of ombre effect, but there's a very distinctive gradation between the colors, which it makes for some really interesting effects. And it has it's smooth paper, but they've included the watercolor paper texture, so it looks like you actually watercolored this by hand yourself, and you have to actually touch it to realize that, oh no, that's printed on the paper. So it's kind of a cool texture effect there, built right into the paper. Now I decided I wanted to have my planet surface 4 inches wide because I'm doing a vertical layout on my card. So I'm just going to trim this down. I needed to mark where 3 inches. This die cuts and the paper were 6 inches long, and I wanted to have this portion of it, so I had to find the center point, mark it with a ruler, and then measure out 2 inches from my center point to get a 4-inch width on this. And then I'm going to get it all trimmed down the size I need it and start assembling the planet. Now I die cut the planet shapes or the continents from orange from this same group of paper, and I'm just going to place them where I think they look good. I'm sure there's probably a geographical. I even took like, what do you call it? Like I studied plate tectonics in college long time ago, geology, right? But I can't remember any of it except like at one time the continents drifted apart. So anyway, I'm just going to put them where it looks good on my card layout because nobody's going to sit there and if they are going to criticize where I put my continents, well, then they're going to get a hair flip. That's all there is to it. And they don't get this card. So now I'm kind of planning, I'm going to start building the card, and I'm kind of planning here where this is all going to go on my vertical layout. There's a sentiment I want to include from a set called A World of Thanks. I love the fact that this set has multilingual thanks in it. So you can say it in Spanish, you can say it in French, you can say it in Swahili. I think we have a Swahili. Anyway, go through it and see what you think, because I think it's a lot of fun. In German, so cool to have the multicultural thanks set. So yay! Now I'm also combining this with a Nice of You stamp set and the coordinating die, which we released earlier. Or this was like a year ago, I think we released it. And I don't wait till the last minute to use these. I actually go ahead and pre-stamp or pre-emboss, black and white, and I die cut them all. The stamps are all on one sheet. They're not separate individual sentiments. You could cut them apart if you wanted to, but the die is designed to cut them all out at one time, so you stamp them all at one time. And then you have them all ready to go, and I store them in a little cellophane envelope with the sets. And then when I need something, I can just go dig in there and find the one I need, and boom, I can get my card finished in record time. So now I'm just assembling all my pieces here. I decided my bear needs a pink suitcase, got her orange passport, and then she's going to have a pink camera and a little photo frame. I've got foam tape on the back of the pieces I wanted to pop up. Her little suitcase is going to go behind her, so I decided to flush mount her with some double-sided, tape runner. And then I'm just going to take that sentiment there and pop that up with a little bit of foam tape too. And there you go. It's right up there above. Everything works together cohesively. And then a little bit of embellishment. One of my favorite all-time embellishments, Stickles. Stickles glitter glue. I own it in like every color they make. But I have like 5 or 6 bottles of diamond because I love it so much. I use it all the time. Anyway, it's fun to give a little bit of twinkle and sparkle to these different projects. Now here, this one's more of a masculine card. I've got Big Ben in the background there. I used the big city die to create kind of a cityscape there, the city of London. I used the blue watercolor paper from the collection of papers to create my sky. And then I also borrowed the trees from Good Day. And I stamped those right onto where I die cut the cityscape because it was on watercolor paper, so it made it easy. I've also got this design, which is more of a landscape layout, and bears sitting on top of the world there, off on an adventure. So this set is very versatile, so much fun to go international. I want to go to Europe with her. I really, really want to go. Someday I'm going to get there. I am going to get there. All right. I hope that inspires you and that you are having a wonderful, creative World Card Making Day. Thanks for watching.